Hi, I'm Drew.
I'm Scott.
You know, that sounds a lot like Scotch.
Let's drink Scotch.
Welcome to Every Man's Whiskey. Hey, Scott.
Drew?
I got some good stuff for us.
Okay.
Okay.
You got a box.
I was at the store. I saw this taster kit of Glenmorangie.
You couldn't pass it up.
Exactly.
Too good of a deal for Drew.
So, I wanted us to do our first Scotch episode.
With teeny tiny bottles.
Yeah, they're small, but, you know, that means we can drink more, right?
We can drink all of them, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we're going to start off with the 10-year, the original. It's a bourbon barrel finish. Then we're going to go to the 12-year. It's a sherry cask finish. Then the 14-year, which is a port cask finish. And then we're going to end up on this one. I don't think that there's a year date, but it's finished in Sauternes cask.
We're going back in time with Glenmorangie.
So I'm excited about this. Our first Scotch episode. Let's get started. Okay, Scott.
Scotch time.
Glenmorangie, the original, 10-year, Highland. Love the Highlands.
First fact, Drew.
Yes.
Scotch has a lot of history, obviously, and this certainly does. Incredible history. Dating back to 1843, it was officially formed as a distillery when William Matheson purchased a farm, the Glenmorangie farm,
Yeah.
and formed the distillery. But production on that site is said to go back to as far as 1703. 3 freaking centuries ago.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Okay. Super light.
Very light.
The nose you get.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah, it's malt, some fruit notes.
I get fruit more than malt.
Right. But definitely very sweet going in.
Easy to
It's
sip.
classic Scotch.
Yeah.
I mean, this is classic Highland Scotch.
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 A lot of fruit up front.
Scotch.
Malt at the back end.
Down in my belly.
Easy anchor, man.
Sorry, it's just something about Scotch, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of fruit notes, a little vanilla, some oak, some caramel.
So I'm not a huge Scotch drinker at all. I'm new to it. Drew's had quite a bit more than I have. But I would say this is a great beginner Scotch.
Absolutely. It's relatively inexpensive. A normal size bottle.
Especially in the teeny tiny bottle.
A normal size bottle is about $35. And so, now I will say, I, in general, tend to prefer my Scotch on the rocks.
Okay.
Obviously, today we're having them neat, but drink it however you like.
Very well done.
Excellent Scotch. Let's move on. Okay, Scott, moving right along.
Number 2.
Is this the 12-year sherry cask finish?
Almost a teenager.
So, now I should say this is a single malt. Everything we're tasting today is going to be single malt. Single malt just means it came from a single distillery.
Got it.
Versus blended, which is very popular in Scotch. And okay, can I go on a little rant?
Go on a rant.
Okay. A lot of people have a huge issue with blended whiskeys, and they're like, oh, I only want the single malt. I personally think it takes a different skill, but the same amount of skill as for a single location to make something excellent as somebody to say, okay, we're going to try this and mix this with that to create an excellent whiskey.
Not too much different than single barrel whiskey versus blended whiskeys.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Anyways.
I got a fact, if you have time for one.
I love facts.
Did you know that the giraffe is the spirit animal of Glenmorangie?
What? I did not.
They are known to have the tallest stills in Scotland. They are the height of an adult giraffe. And it's said the taller still takes out the sulfur and adds the fruit notes, which they're known for, so I'm told.
Okay.
And they even have gone so far as to partner with some giraffe organizations to support conservation for giraffes.
Do they have like a giraffe on site? Because that'd be really cool.
I don't think so.
That'd be awesome.
To make sure the still is at proper height.
Yeah, exactly. Slightly darker, which you're going to get that from the sherry cask.
Fruity again.
Yeah, but less fruity. I guess less sweet.
So one thing that scares me off about Scotch is the peat and the malt. And the first one was not overly whelming peat or malt.
That's true. This one has more peat to it than the last one.
It does.
Now, there are different regions of Scotland, like once you get into Scotch. And a lot of people, you get some people who are like, oh, I'm die hard into, the heavy peat, the heavy smoke, and like punches you in the face. That's mostly the Islay stuff. And so once you get into the Highlands and then
This is Highlands.
This is Highlands, yeah. Then it's further away from the sea, and so it literally has a different taste. And that's the reason is that the Islay, because they're on the islands, has that like...
Yeah.
That salty...
This tastes a lot different than the first one.
Yeah, so this one has slightly more peat. It's getting some raspberry, some vanilla, some oak, a little bit of leather, and then some tobacco right on the end. I mean, it's
got all that, huh?
Super complex. What did you pick up?
I got the fruit notes, the raisins. To me, the overwhelming was the peat. Because the first one was so unpronounced on the peat. This one was much more so. But just more mature overall.
Yeah, definitely.
It was good.
All right, you ready to move on?
I am.
Here we go. Okay, Scott, moving right along, we've got the Glenmorangie 14. This one's port cast finish, 46%. Jumping up, the first two were 43%. I forgot to mention that. So, and also, I did want to say, normal size bottle of the last one was about $50. This one's about $50 as well.
Not bad.
Yeah.
14 year, we've got a teenager on our hands.
Yeah.
Fact number 3. Glenmorangie, the origin of the name is Gaelic, and it comes from Glen of Tranquility, Drew. Do you know who's feeling tranquil right now? The original owners sold back in 2004 to huge European luxury brand alcohol conglomerate LVMH for like $360 million.
Wow.
Insane.
Okay.
They made payday.
There we go. Slightly darker, as you would with the 2 years and the port finish.
The port comes out on the nose, man.
That is beautiful.
You're gonna
beautiful
love this
nose.
one.
Yeah, I am.
You love Scotch. You love port. This should be good.
This is basically a few of my favorite things right here. Man, yeah. Getting kind of, just all the good things in life. A lot of port. This one definitely has the port undertone all the way through. Getting some fruit notes with the leather. And of course the malt and, yeah, everything that you want Scotch to be. At $50, this stuff is delightful.
I like that the taste progresses throughout. Each moment of the taste is completely different. It progresses.
Mm-hmm.
All the way to the finish, which just lingers a good length of time. I love it.
Yeah.
It's not too much peat either, which I'm scared of too much peat.
Right, because I know going into this whole thing of Scotch, you're like, oh, man. So I'm glad to hear that you're...
Yeah, I'm getting the flavors. I'm learning, Drew.
There you go. He can be taught.
I think I like the Highlands.
I like him too. All right, moving on to the last one. Okay, Scott, we've come to the end of the line.
End of our journey.
It's always sad. Bittersweet. We're going to finish on the Glenmorangie.
Glenmorangie.
There you go. Good. He can be taught.
You did that on purpose?
I
just
did.
for me?
Yeah.
You're quizzing me?
Yeah. This is the Nectar Dior.
Okay.
So this is created in bourbon barrels and then finished in Sautern's cask. And Sautern is a sweet French wine. And this one is 46% alcohol, and a full-size bottle will cost around $75.
That was a lot of facts, but can I share a fact too?
Sure, I'm going to go start sipping then.
Okay, Glenmorangie is from Tain, Scotland, and the group of men responsible for the quality of the Scotch are called the Men of Tain. These 16 craftsmen are the gatekeepers. They're responsible to make sure that it's quality. And there's even an album by the great British guitarist Alan Holdsworth, now deceased, written in the honor of the 16 Men of Tain.
That's beautiful.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because on the bottle it says created by the 16 Men of Tain. I had no idea what that meant.
There you go.
So I appreciated your
Mad
fact.
respect to you 16 guys.
Yeah, this stuff is delightful. You need to try it.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you getting?
Apricot. You're getting of course, the malt, a hint of peat, but not nearly as much as the second one that we tried.
True.
The 12-year. So, getting other subtle fruit notes, some honey.
I get Honey Nut Cheerios.
Not a sponsor.
But the honey with the grain taste?
Yeah.
Before the peat kicks in.
Right, exactly. And, I mean, it's very, very sweet, not overly sweet.
It's great.
Excellent example of a Scotch.
Very well done. I've enjoyed it. And none of them have been overwhelmingly peat heavy.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And also not too smoky either.
No.
So, all right. There you go. That was our...
We've got to come with some conclusions.
Oh, we do.
Okay.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
Let's do it.
Okay. Scott, what did you think of this Scotch?
I'm so glad you shared your tiny bottles with me, Drew.
Tiny bottles.
It was a great way to try 4 different Scotches.
Yeah, Scotches.
Sounds weird.
Yeah.
For a cheap price, inexpensive. But
Right.
we have some decisions to make.
We do.
Decisions.
Yeah. So we had the original at $30.
It was phenomenal. Great introductory Scotch.
Yeah. Then we moved on to the 12-year.
Very well done.
Yep, the sherry cask finish. I mean, that was tasty. It had a little bit more peat than...
It was peat heavy for me.
Yep. Then we went on to the 14-year, which was port barrel finished.
Spoiler alert, it's in my glass.
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
That was delightful. And then we went to the Nectar Dior, and that was also fantastic.
All of them were
smooth,
great,
tasty, excellent.
And we're not being paid to say that.
Right, that's very true. So I'm actually, as far as value goes, I'm going to end on the original because I think for $35, it is truly a delightful Scotch.
The fruit notes on that and the not as much peat make it very good for someone who's not gotten into Scotch to get into Scotch. Now, highly recommend it.
Do understand why you ended up on that one though. The 14 year.
There's so much complexity. And I loved it. It was a journey in my mouth. Like from start to finish, it was like different notes of taste the entire time.
Yeah.
Loved it.
And at $50, it's still a great price point.
Reasonable.
For Scotch. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on Everyman's Whiskey.
As always, please be sure to subscribe, like, comment below.
And remember, quality over quantity.
Drink responsibly.
Do I need to worry about the cats?
Probably.
Do you see the cat? Either one for the left, right there, and the other one's in the bathroom.
Let's just do it. Who cares? A little jingle jangle won't hurt.
Hey, are you gonna be quiet?
No?